Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Atchison County Commission meeting for Tuesday, April 18th. If you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Has let's see here, public comment. Do we have any? I don't see anybody on there. And Jennifer's on the agenda, so we will keep going. Additions to the agenda. Do you have any additions, Commissioner Knoll?
I don't.
Commissioner Rebus?
There's one meeting date we'll discuss later.
Meeting date, okay. And I have two things I would like to add to the agenda today. One is to discuss the Senior Village Memorandum of Understanding with our interim admin, David Mercier, and then also would like to add entertaining the Senior Village admin, full-time admin. So I'll talk about those later on.
Okay.
Reading and approval of minutes. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes?
I have. I'll make a motion to accept as written.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Commissioner comments and committee reports.
Did you have 2 weeks? Because last week,
I forgot to put the 4th on
sorry.
because I failed.
No, you didn't fail, but we're still waiting on the 4th. So we'll do those next week.
Yeah, they were on last week's agenda, but I didn't put them on this week's agenda.
Gotcha.
So if you would have read last week's, they were on there, but I don't know.
I'm gonna add that so we can do that later on just to get them knocked out. We'll read them later.
I can add them, I was gonna say I can add them for next week.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And that was April 4th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You want to set it?
Okay, sorry. Commissioner comments and committee reports. Commissioner Knoll?
Had a meeting Thursday with K.S.A. The meeting went fine. Nothing new to report.
Okay. Commissioner Rebus?
Nothing new to report.
Okay. I have a few things. There was a Walnut Township meeting last night, and the clerk and I attended. It was a really good meeting. They welcomed a new treasurer and just kind of discussing ways that the same challenges the townships are facing, the county faces also. And so we were just trying to brainstorm some solutions, and I'm going to get with Joe. I know he was organizing greater training for our guys and maybe be able to incorporate some of the operators from the townships possibly. And then developing like an Atchison County hauler list of, there's so many folks in the county that haul rock. And just having that list available for townships if their needs exceed what their equipment is able to do for the township. So those are two things that we talked about as possibly working together to help them. The countywide cleanup weekend is this weekend, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And there's been a lot of information on CARE and social media about that. So I just encourage everyone to participate if you're able to. Whatever day, time, just doing your part will help everyone. So looking forward to that. And I attended the grand opening of the Amelia Earhart Hangar Museum last week, and just wanted to congratulate all the individuals that made that a reality for Atchison County, because it really is spectacular. As a mom, we take our kids to museums as such, and it's usually in Omaha or Kansas City, and to have it right here at home with that caliber of a museum, it's pretty incredible. So just want to congratulate everyone on that. And then tomorrow we have our special budget workshop, our second one that we've had so far, looking at the 2024 budgets. So just wanted to mention that. Other than that, that's all I got. EMS Commission report for March 2023. Do I have a motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. All right. New business before the board. Jennifer Maxwell, co-sponsor leadership breakfast discussion for United Way.
Alan wants me to move down here, closer to the microphone. Okay. So, I am here representing United Way, and our leadership breakfast is scheduled for September 8th this year at the Event Center. And Alan found this date out for me that it actually started in 2012, and it was co-sponsored by the city and the county ever since then. In 2020, did not have it because of COVID, but then had it in 21 and 22. The county at that time opted out of co-sponsoring, and so I'm just here to see if you guys would consider coming back on and co-sponsoring with the city again. I have reached out to Amy and she replied, and the city is going to co-sponsor again. Just to give you a little, for the past 2 years, we've booked 180 RSVPs. Last year, the total cost, Phillips is the caterer. We get the event space with no rent, but they let us use the dishes and provide the drinks. Total cost was $3,240. The city reimbursed us back $1,620. The cost of the food did increase a little bit that last year compared to 21 because of inflation and stuff. But what questions do you guys have as far as that goes?
When you say co-sponsoring, is that just for food only?
It's the food and then the drinks and the dishes.
Okay.
So the cost from Phillips was $2,880, and then the cost from the event center, which is $1 per person to use the dishes because they do all the dishes, and then the drinks is $1 per person, so $360 for them. So basically, yes, all the cost associated with the food. And then I brought the whole folder, so if you had any questions. So last year, this was our program and the buffet breakfast co-sponsored by City of Atchison. That's where you guys would be on there as well. And as far as getting recognition, and then you guys get to basically have as your tables. You get to come and we don't limit you. You can bring as many county employees as you would like. Last year, the city had 2 tables. We just need to know how many for the cost of the food.
I'd like to offer some history on this. Last year, I know when you guys were trying to figure it out, I don't think you really got the history. So in 2011, at the city, we had to cut some things. And we were giving a lot of money to charities. I'm gonna say 75, 80 grand. And we equated that to, I gotta pick which church to give to, because it was getting to the point of, we had too many needs, and we had to stop the charitable giving. So the same was going on with the county, and they reduced some things. So in 12, so Jeff Shealy was county commissioner, I was the mayor at the time, and then Trey Cocking, and so we all got together because some of the nonprofits weren't real happy that we were gonna cut back, but they understood. And so we just kind of a handshake agreement that we would co-sponsor the breakfast and use that contribution to kind of help kickstart their Fall United Way campaign. And then and encourage everybody to get there and just try to help co-sponsor. Then we also took turns emceeing it. So one year the county was like the MC, one year the city. And we did that for 8 or 10 years. And then we got switched over to United Way. United Way pretty much just runs it. But that's kind of the history on it. And it seemed to be the nonprofit seemed to like that approach. And it's been successful, I think. I mean, it's gone real well. So gets a lot of people there. And then they've changed the format a couple of times a little bit. Change of times, but that's kind of the background on how it started and why.
So I'm definitely supportive of it because I think even in the county, reducing some of the nonprofits and being able to partner with the United Way. And this is really just a fundraiser, like a kickoff, right? I mean, because the sponsors, that's one of the things that, I know you have an annual fundraiser, but this is like the kickoff where everybody's coming and supporting you and learning about it and really getting ignited to participate throughout the year.
Yep, it is kind of, you can look at it as a fundraiser to help towards our campaign. So like right now, we are at about 94% of our 2023 campaign that we did really well on our trivia night. So basically we have our annual campaign where we reach out and do presentations. We have our trivia night, we have our leadership breakfast, and now this will be the 3rd year for match day. We do participate in match day as well. So in theory, we have kind of the 3 things and then participate in match day to try to meet our 100% goal. And I do think we're gonna go over that this year. which we did up our allocations this year. We are on the uphill swing of getting kind of straightened out in some things. And all the money that we do receive goes back to the community, and it stays with those agencies that we do support. I will say last year, we worked really hard on the sponsorships, and that's probably the most sponsors we've ever had on the back of there. And we're trying to do we're always trying to make improvements, but I think we're doing a way better job on our website, anything that we put out there to give the recognition where recognition is due.
Yeah. The other piece of the leadership thing, well, it's called leadership breakfast. The other thing was to kickoff. We also felt like there's always a deficit in leadership, it seems like, in volunteer organizations. It's always turnover, there's always a need. So the idea is to bring someone in. Most of the time we try to get somebody from like Kansas City or somewhere else to come in and be our speaker. Could be a TV anchor, it might be a person in sports or business, but some sort of a leadership role and have a kind of a leadership volunteer as a message was kind of the other piece of that.
And I liked our speaker last year that we had from Manhattan Christian College.
Good.
Kevin Ingram. This year, our speaker is going to be Ryan Moody. He was supposed to be several years ago, I think in 2019. And then he had a personal family emergency and backed out. And then Phil Banowitz filled in that year. So we reached out to Ryan to see if he'd like to do it again. So he's going to be our speaker. And I know that he does a very good job with his basketball players, trying to get them, to give back to the community as far as that goes. And a lot of our agencies supply an avenue for the college students, community in general, as ways of helping out and giving back.
So you had mentioned the 1620 was last year's.
That was
So
last year's.
Do you feel like it'd be somewhere to?
I would say it would be in the ballpark. That's the only thing, is I cannot give an exact number. I will be honest with you, we got some feedback after last year's that individuals didn't know that they could come. Well, anybody can come. You don't have to be associated with a business or a sponsored table. And that feedback came from Rick Berger's sister. So we need to do a little bit better job that individuals can come if they wanted to just come individually. It doesn't have to be associated with a business. So would I want to limit it to 180? No. I think one year we had almost 220. And yes, then the cost of the breakfast goes up. I've already talked to Margie. She doesn't anticipate the cost of the breakfast, and that includes tip and everything, gratuity. That's just a flat $16 a person for the buffet that she does.
So if we say not to exceed $2,000.
That's what I was thinking in my motion that I would ask for.
That would give you a buffer,
I think so. Yeah. If that
Yeah, or
helps.
or just whatever it
we would
is.
just say for a little partnership on the buffet breakfast.
Yeah.
And then whatever that number would be, because
Yeah,
the year I was
exceed.
involved with this, it was understood that the county was going to partner, and then there was a talk of a high dollar speaker coming in.
Oh,
And they said,
no.
well, the county was gonna pay for half of it, and I says, oh, no, I said, we haven't approved that yet. And I've got flack from the other side because they said, no, you've agreed to co-sponsor, and I said, we've never done a speaker before.
No,
So that's
and-
the reason I asked about it
No,
too.
if you guys would basically approve the Palucci's and then the cost of the dishes and that bill from the event center, there's no other cost. There was a year that we had a speaker from Wichita State, but that, the cost of that was covered by something else. United Way would cover that. There's no cost this year, and I'll be open, the cost of Kevin Ingram, he didn't charge a speaker fee, but we paid him mileage in his hotel. He came in the night before. But the understanding is just what I told you, the cost of the breakfast. Those two. So if you would agree to half of that,
Yeah.
I'd be thrilled.
Well, and I think I would be more comfortable just approving the amount for United Way to do all the logistics of who they're choosing for breakfast, all the things, because we don't want to be involved in,
Oh, no, and this-
in any of that.
Right.
And it's basically already booked. It's just done. I just have to turn in a number now.
Okay.
Everything is booked.
All right, so I would look for a motion to approve co-sponsoring the United Way Leadership Breakfast with the City of Atchison with an amount not to exceed $2,000 on September 8th of 2023.
Oh, so move.
Okay,
Second.
it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Passes 3-0.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome
Glad to be back.
Welcome
I know.
back.
Thanks
I
for
think
doing
it's-
a great job with United Way.
Well, we're trying.
Yeah.
That'll be welcome news to report tonight at our meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, 10:15. I don't want to say her.
Yana.
Yana, thank you. Yana Ross with K.Camp Risk Manager, 2022 RMA check presentation.
And I have the folders, I have 5, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I have the ones that, okay, yeah, that's what, I'm Yana Ross, Risk Manager with K.Camp, and I would like, in my short career as a Risk Manager with K.Camp since October, this is the second time I'm presenting you guys a check, which congratulations. Kaylee and her team does a great job with risk management meetings and continuing to improve in some areas. I did this time include all the objectives and things that I score the award. This year, as the years before, we've hit, your county hit Risk Management Achievement Award. And some things, and the amount for the award is $3,473.08. The only things that really, in future years, the committee can improve on is if participation in the Excellence Award, which is on the second part of the paper that I included in your packets. A lot of that award is focuses on law enforcement. 4 of those items are law enforcement driven. And I know Atchison County Sheriff's Office been in contact with me. I think I've heard from Sergeant Johnson, this jail. They're working on some of the requirements for that, for this year.
Okay.
And I have, and who would like to?
I'll take it.
I was gonna say,
All right, you want to check?
And then one of the things that I would like to mention, that second page that I included, most of the requirements that K.Camp has towards this award, we do provide a lot of the programs that helps the county to actually achieve the award. So there's no additional cost that usually is involved with striving to achieve all the items.
okay,
Okay, awesome.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Any questions or anything that?
No, bring it on.
Do we want to take a photo of Kaylee and Yana? I mean,
Sure.
I'm just saying, you're a big part of the reason why we get the check, so let's be honest here.
Okay. Do you want me
How about flags, Andy?
Yeah, that's fine.
We shut that line for you.
It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna come
You guys
over
want to take
here,
one by the
down here
flags?
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Are you the official photographer? Please give you a job, see? Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Awesome, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
Okay. We're running a little ahead of schedule, so, do you have public comment? Would you like to pop in here? We have about 10 minutes before Corey will come.
Well, if you're ready for this, okay,
Yes, sir.
is there anything going to be done with that church road out there on St. Louis Church?
Oh, more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's coming.
June,
Pretty quick.
June 7th, I believe.
Now, are you gonna have somebody come in there that knows what they're doing with it?
Yes. They're gonna come in there, they're gonna do a mill. The part of the delamination problem that we've had with that is we can't get anything to stick. That's the reason that it delaminates, it comes off. So they're gonna go in there and they're going to grind that down and texturize the surface that's left, so there's something to hang on to. So when they come in there, it's going to adhere to.
Okay, how far down are they gonna mill that then?
Well, it depends, because some of that level has already been taken off, but it's gonna be,
It did vary, yeah.
It was 2 to 3 inches.
2 to 3 inches, I think. If I remember right. Yeah.
Okay, because, when I was working with, Joe over a couple of years ago, they was gonna do this, and they come in and says that we gonna fix it, and it's fantastic, we got a company coming in to do it. Next thing you know, the county done it themselves, and they just put a Band-Aid over the top of it, and it ain't the way it works.
May I speak to that? Because I agree. We were planning the 2022 calendar year and we were letting the public know, like, we're gonna get out there, we're gonna take care of it. But one of the things our road and bridge superintendent is doing is really doing his homework on the roads and why they failed. And so we did core drilling on it, and we found out that the micro surface, it's not gonna work. And so going back to the drawing board and delaying it another year to come up with a long-term solution, I think you'll be happy. And we bid it out. Harbor Construction was the winning bid, which is a subsidiary of Bettis Asphalt, and they're professionals. You'll see them. I was trying to get the date. I believed it was the first week of June.
It's early June.
Yeah, and those were the criteria when we were choosing the company. You know, some were in August, some couldn't give you a date, and they were earliest. And so I believe you'll see the end result that everybody's been hoping and wanting the past several years.
How thick of an overlay are they going to put on there after they mill this down?
Is it 2 inches?
I think it's 2, yeah, it's the same thing. They're gonna mill back to the same height, so it's 2 or 3 off and 2 or 3 back on. It's gonna vary a little bit along the road. That's the way I understood it. And it goes all the way up to, what's the right number? I'll say wrong. Where it tees off at the north.
yeah, well, it goes as far north as the
Right.
pavement goes.
Yeah, and then at the church, they were talking about getting a hold of the church, and they might be doing something there where that parking is.
Where that
Yeah,
widens out.
I'm not sure what they decided, but I know they were gonna talk about it. I drove up by that to look at it, and that was a discussion too.
Because if they're gonna come in there and just put a skim coat on there or save an inch on there, you might as well forget it.
Right.
I've worked with road construction and stuff like that years ago when there, and a minimum is a 2-inch overlay in there, and get it in it when it's hot. And make sure that you have an inspector there that sits there and checks that blacktop when it comes off is the right temperature.
There is
If
an
it's not the
inspector.
right temperature, no.
Yeah,
it
that's
don't
part
work.
of it.
Gotta
So-
make sure that breaks at the right time and.
Right.
Yes.
And the contract is starting up to June 6th, so that should be the latest start date that you'll see. We've partnered with Peppercorn Engineering, which handled the bid process for us, did the core drilling, brought to us the results for consideration, and he's gonna see this project from beginning to end, because that is exactly what we said is, we want you to make sure the end results when we spend this is what we're anticipating and what we
Okay,
put
now-
out, so. And I can try to see.
Is there a side statement in there that if that road goes back and does the same thing, that they are liable to come back in and have to do it over?
So they have a performance
Is it
bond.
performance bond? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something.
Sorry, I'm just trying to refresh my memory because we asked all these questions to Peppercorn when he was here because, you know, that was one of the things, it's critical for success.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where Joe, you know, running the road and bridge department, he absolutely wants success. So he's bringing, you know, these engineers to the table and making sure that we're making.
Larry, I pulled the document up. It's a 38-page document on this whole thing with all the technical. I can forward that to you if you give me your email, if you'd like. No, okay.
That's all right.
You can sit over here and read it if you want.
No,
So, and yeah, they're requiring, so on this one, they're requiring testing of the materials, insurance, performance bond,
At the end of the performance bond.
yeah.
okay, all right. Now, next question. It's a pain in my posterior, big time. I live on 286 Road, and I've bitched about this enough times and stuff in there, about all the trash in there. And I've even got agitated enough that I asked, can I take some of that trash that I find who it is and take it back and put it in their yard? And they said no. And I said, bullshit, I ain't going the wrong thing. But anyhow, if they can come out in the country out here and dump our trash and stuff in there, or throw their cans and stuff out, why can't I go in town and I'm gonna have a party in one of these guys' yards, and we're gonna have a good old time beer drink, leave cans in there, and I better not get arrested. Now, I've had it for years, I've hollered at them and everything else. Nothing seems to be done. They finally put up signs out there that the thing should be strapped down. Ho, ho, ho. They can't even read stop signs in town. Nobody stops. Why don't the county, why don't you go in there and have the police department do their job on stop signs, make them stop. If they don't stop, give them a ticket. Do the same thing as Walthena does up there. You go up there and run through a stop sign up there and see what happens. Or go through, you got a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit in the city limits down there in the main part of town, and nobody runs underneath 40. Why don't we do something about that? No, they always talk about don't have any money. Then, by golly, sit there and do something about it. Then have your judge get off his backside a little bit and do something, and people will understand what our town is like instead of a trash dump.
Just to answer your question about the trash on 286, we recognize it's a problem. Every resident along that road has brought that to us, and we've worked really as a team because it's not a one-person fix. Like, beyond us going out and picking it up, it has to be a team effort. And I can tell you that our sheriff's department has, when they get calls, because it has to be reported, so there's got to be reasoning. They've issued citations, we've put up the signage that you referred to, and then most recently we have our community corrections department on board where they sent out volunteers 2 Mondays ago and picked up over 20 bags of trash. And weather permitting, that's what their plan is moving forward, as they hope to continue those efforts. And I can just tell you, it comes down to the public. And we can't control people, and the day the volunteers were out picking up trash, there was a gentleman that showed up at solid waste that lost part of their load, and they were notified of that, and the reaction was, well, there's volunteers out there picking it up. So and that's the mentality we have to change. We have to do better. But as far as your problem of the trash on 286, we hope that, we appreciate the community corrections stepping up with the volunteers to help clean it up, and hopefully we can maintain that. So,
Question,
yes, sir.
was that man fined and ticketed for that incident?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, so again, and I've had these conversations of, it's been successful when a patron is behind someone, sees it happen, calls a non-emergent number, reports the tag, and can be that witness. Because the he said, she said of, oh, she just showed up out here with this trailer full of stuff, so it must be hers that she lost it down there. Like you have to have witnesses and like it has to be documented thoroughly, because we've asked those questions too of like, if Stacy sees someone, if I pull up out there with a whole trailer that's not secured, in my mind it might be secured. There's not like necessarily, it gets into the gray area, I guess.
Right.
But I can tell you that we are aware of the problem, and we have all hands on deck at the county level to help mitigate it and help. I mean,
Okay, give you a little bit of information on there, put a little teeth in it. Put it in the paper in there that loads must be secured or fined in there. And the minimum fine would be whatever, $500. And it will be collected, period. Cause now on, if I see somebody out there and if I'm close to my truck, I'm gonna be on somebody's butt.
well, and we appreciate the public support in helping us. I mean, that 4323 number, use it. If you see something, say something, and you know, get the details, because you could be helping us, you know, be able to hold these folks accountable.
Okay.
But they passed out the flyers yet to secure your loads at the.
I'm not sure. Well, Stacy's coming this afternoon. We
They're-
could ask her.
They're putting together a flyer to hand out at the scale house at the transfer station that says, here are the rules about tying your loads down, and, you know, and to encourage people that are coming out there to make sure they know the rules.
Well,
That's another piece of it.
It's court. Oh, and I'm sorry, I have to keep us on track. If you want it, there's another area for public comment. If you don't mind hanging out, we can visit more about it. I got to switch over to Corey Scott because we hit 10:30 and I didn't realize.
okay, okay, if something is done in there and a fine is put on there, I don't mean slap on the fingers, I mean something that's gonna make somebody understand and put it in the paper that they got arrested for. So if I do that, if I catch somebody and get them turned in and stuff, they better be fined and not just 10 or 15 bucks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry for being such a pain in the butt.
You're not. We welcome feedback because what you're bringing to us, we hear from other folks, and so having it on the public meeting.
Trash on 286 has been almost a
Yeah.
weekly topic, and we've been trying to address it. I'm glad Community Corrections got out there, and that's something that they used to utilize more. They kind of got away from it, and I don't know why, but hopefully we can.
Nobody runs it anymore. I can tell you that for sure.
Corey Scott, EMS Director, bid opening
Thank
for
you
cardiac
very much.
monitor and defibrillator. Thank you.
All right. Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We put out the bid specification for a LifePak 15 portable cardiac monitor defibrillator on, was it March 28th? Bids closed yesterday at 1, and the opening was scheduled for today at 10:30. We received one bid to the clerk's office. The bid is from Master Medical Equipment of P.O. Box 11476, Jackson, Tennessee 38308.
What's the name?
Master Medical Equipment. Let's see here. The total bid is for $22,583.
Do you want to take a week to review, or you want to suggest the commission?
Well, I'm reviewing to make sure it
Yep.
meets real quick. The bid isn't ridiculously complicated, so it shouldn't
Perfect.
take me very long here to.
Perfect. We have plenty of time, by the way, the next,
I see one thing in the bid that was not specified that we do not need, that would reduce the bid by $2,395. They included a 2-bay charging station. We have existing charging stations for this equipment at both facilities already. So I don't know on the bid process, can we eliminate that, Pat?
I'd have to see the bid, but does it say that?
It wasn't in your specs, right?
Well, let me make sure. There's a possibility we did that.
Did you say 2593?
395.
395.
I have the right numbers.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Just fix, let's see how much. Pardon me.
Oh, I did put one station battery charger. So the bid is exact.
If it's a separate item, yeah, you might be able to take it off. We should talk to them.
Okay. Yeah, it would be a separate item. And let me check and make sure with both my stations if we don't really need one. But,
You may have one that's about shot or something. You might want to ask
well, it's
them.
all relatively new equipment, but
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't want to look at the equipment to make sure.
Just put this on next week, give you a chance to check on it, or come back later in the meeting.
I could probably come back later in the meeting if
There you
that's
go.
okay with
Give you a
everybody.
chance to make some calls. K.S.A, right?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
That would reduce it if need be to $20,188.
Is that about what you were expecting?
Little higher than I was expecting, but not that far off.
Yeah, I thought you were saying 17, 18.
I was
so
hoping in the 18,000
Yeah.
range, but
Not far off.
with medical equipment and inflation. I will review the 2 chargers that I have, and when would you like me back?
So we have,
He said you come back today.
I'm at your disposal.
we have 2 executive sessions today that I'm aware of. So I'm just looking for scheduling purposes. Assume noon. Okay, like 12:15, does that work for you?
Yeah.
All right, we'll bring you back at 12:15.
All right. I'll see you then. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Better allow for travel time.
It's a long one.
Okay.
Wrong button.
Oh, it sounds like Stacy might be here, so we can keep going.
Give me a good look at these.
Oh, yeah.
Pat, you want to see all this payroll?
Did you get the solid waste plan updates? I didn't see solid waste plan updates.
Yes. The tipping fees. Oh, here, I'll forward it to you. Huh. There you go.
Oh, you know what? I do have the senior village we could put in this block of time and just get that. I'm gonna give these to you because I need a little more time to review them.
Is it also in your village?
What's that?
It's also in your village?
No, that's,
Oh, you said that, okay. Oh, it's okay. I think right there, we're smoothing the papers over.
Welcome back.
oh,
I bet that goes on the bottom, what do you think?
we're running ahead of schedule when Eric gets back. You good?
Yeah.
Thanks for your email too. That's important. You did a good job explaining it.
Ended up being kind of long, but I wanted to.
No, it's nice to be able to absorb all of that before. So,
Yeah, when you do something.
yeah,
I
you
mean,
nailed
I
it.
put my opinion on there.
I appreciate that.
Um,
You're the one doing it.
I noticed that.
yeah. But I think we want to avoid people driving away with their load.
Definitely concerns me. I'm
The
trying to
one-
clean.
The one yesterday that drove away came from Potter,
Oh,
so you know where it ended up.
no.
And it was a load of shingles.
See, and those are the ones I need to, yeah, I'm,
Jack, you know where.
okay. We're gonna go ahead and keep going. Now that Stacy's here, we'll just stay ahead of schedule. So Stacy Waggle, Solid Waste Manager, Annual Solid Waste Management Plan Approval.
Yeah, I didn't run you guys copies since I emailed them for you, but pretty basic stuff. The date on the front. Clinton is our new member. He's replacing Justin as a representative of recycling. So that changes there. And then clear on to page 14 or so. Mine's 13, but I think under formatting, I think yours ended up being 14. We've got the tipping fee in there as a change. As of April 1st, 2023, MSW, commingled recyclables, brush and yard waste, glass, metal, rubble are all free of charge to dump. Loads of construction demolition are charged a tipping fee at a rate of $45 per ton. The revenue from the tipping fee and the county-wide sales tax are applied to the solid waste department's annual costs. So that's the change in there, replacing the two paragraphs of how we were doing it before. The committee approved this plan last Friday, and I have already talked to the guy at the state that does them. I just wanted to make sure I worded that paragraph correctly and took out the right amount, and he agreed that I had, so I just need it in the minutes and approved.
That was page 114. I drove
It's
you
in
like-
red, it's in red. On mine, it's 13, but I think the formatting on the computer made it
I got
14
you.
there.
There it is, okay.
Did you send us a copy of that?
I did, yes.
Yeah, it was,
I sent it Thursday night.
yeah. It says SWMC, right? SWMC.
You can see mine if you want to read it, Eric.
Yeah, I sent you the new one. I sent the
Okay.
other to you, Pat.
I missed it.
Okay.
I said two solid waste things to you.
Yeah.
Do you need time to review the changes or have any questions before I call for a motion?
So that was the only change, was that one place?
Just that one paragraph, yep.
For some reason, I would have expected to be more than one change with the change in the funding source, the way we did, so. But if not, that's fine.
No, it replaced a couple of paragraphs in there. Of course, the paragraphs that I took out were more extensive because of the way that we used to do it.
Right, okay.
This is far easier
So that was the
on
main area, so.
paper.
I didn't hear of anything that I had any questions about.
So the only thing I have a question would be before we approve this with the language of the construction and demolition tipping fees, if you wanted to talk to us about your thoughts of how that's going. You guys got an email with information of kind of her.
If we changed it now,
Yep.
it would be after that April 12th.
Okay.
So it would go on next year's
Perfect.
review.
Thank you.
If we changed it now, yes.
Okay, so we can have that discussion later. I would look for a motion to approve the Atchison County Solid Waste Management Plan Annual Review dated April 12th, 2023, as presented by our Solid Waste Director, Stacy Wackel.
Also move.
I'll second.
Then moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Thank you for that.
So-
Now I would love to have that discussion.
Okay, we can have that discussion. I also have something else that came in
Perfect.
the mail.
Okay.
But if you wanna talk
No.
about that now?
No,
or-
you.
Okay,
Go on.
last night, after the deadline for today's meeting, I got the bill for the chemical cleanup. It's my understanding that we were taking that out of the 897, so I didn't write a requisition, but Kaylee can help me with that later.
Okay.
It's $17,396.08,
Wow.
which I knew it was gonna be a lot.
That's that's all the bills for that cleanup.
That's the total, that is the total for that cleanup that day. The unfortunate part about it was you have to clean it up before you know what it is. So it came back as non-toxic. Therefore, we didn't clean up our site because it was non-toxic and it's not gonna hurt anything. So that saved us some money, but on somebody else's site, you can't leave it. You have to clean it up right now. So it's just one of those things.
And they're satisfied with the cleanup down there?
They were very satisfied with the cleanup. They were very happy with how fast we got it taken care of and how well Clean Harbors does a wonderful job. They're through Safety Clean.
Gotta be good neighbors and good vendor friends, and
Yeah,
that's real
yeah,
important.
yep. So, just want to be clear, that's coming out of the 897?
I would think.
Okay,
That's fine.
okay. So I'll just leave it to be, I took my own copy, so
I'm creating a purchase.
do we
order.
need okay, she's gonna create a purchase order, so, and then I'll just leave it with Michelle.
Moving forward, because I know you and I have talked about like this specific incident, is there anything we can do to prevent this? And I don't know what that answer is. I'm just asking to kind of learn. Those folks come loaded up, drive to their facility. Is there a way that they can sign out of our facility that they've inspected the container? Like, I don't know what they're, I'm just curious if
Yeah,
there's
I don't
anything.
know what it would be either, because we don't have the manpower to sit down there and watch them unload at the metal pile. That would be one thing that maybe could, but we don't.
I'm guessing you probably could sometimes, but you couldn't guarantee you always.
Every time, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they come across the scale, and if they've got metal, they don't stop at the building. I can see in their trailer that they've only got metal, I send them on down. And I could go out there, I guess, but still, there's things in there, sometimes they're in dump trucks and, and I don't know what the solution would be. When they send somebody, it's a truck driver, it's not, he hooks onto it and drives away, he doesn't,
And do they load it?
no, we load it.
We load it.
Jody loads it.
Okay.
So we must have put it in there, I guess.
Yeah, and when it got smashed down, it just smashed down and out of that, and while it was sitting there, nothing really, well, some did ooze out, but, the driver just backs up to it and just drives it away, and
Okay.
Do they stop on the scale and then you wave them on? No.
I don't weigh them, they weigh them at Advantage Metals
I was
on
just-
their end.
I was just wondering if they were required to stop if we had a camera that would be directly above the truck that could be, would that help?
You mean coming in?
Yes.
Individuals?
Yeah.
We do have a camera there, but there again, you look down in there and you see that crate, and until it's mashed,
Yeah.
you see nothing.
Okay.
It was when Jody packed it in there was probably when it, and even at that, it kind of trickled out a little bit, and as the guy took off, well, then it all sloshes out the tailgate type
Sure.
thing, and I mean, really, we got lucky that it wasn't anything hazardous.
Right.
Do we identify what it was?
It's the chemical that they put in, fertilizer spray, and
Okay.
Connie knew exactly what it was when she saw it.
Okay.
But
Like
you gotta-
Roundup or something like
Yeah,
that.
you
One of
gotta
those-
have it tested, you gotta
Yeah.
have it on paper, and that's what that is. So,
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know if you wanna have that other discussion or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's definitely worth having.
Yeah.
The discussion of the $45 a ton for construction and demolition without a minimum
What was it
wave.
before?
It was 35 before, but you got everybody got 2,000 pounds free.
1 ton.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, 1 ton
Right,
free.
right.
So, we've had 2 weeks now to kind of go with this and see how things were going, and of course, you guys all read the email, but we've had 9 new customers in that 2 weeks, and 5 of those 9 were $10 and under. I don't have that email in front of me, but I think it showed
Right here.
that there were 12 steps to every payment.
You can use mine. if you want.
Yeah, and, 12 steps to every payment that comes in. On the administrative side, that includes me and Connie, 8 for me and 4 for her. It's kind of an administrative nightmare for
It
$4.
seems ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, you should be able to have a square thing out there and go, done. I mean,
and that's my suggestion, that we go back to, we always called it the wave before.
yeah.
It was wave, you got 2,000 pounds free. And because we've had 3 that came in that have, I'm not paying that, and drove away. Well, we definitely want to avoid that.
Absolutely.
We definitely want to avoid that. Whereas that 2,000 pound would take care of those smaller loads. I mean,
I guess I missed that. I didn't realize we got rid of the 2,000 pounds. When did you guys do that? I don't think I remember.
that was when all this came on, we took
Right,
off that
whatever,
2,000 pounds. My suggestion would be to bring that back, and then, if you bring it back, you about have to put it on contractors that are bringing in loads of shingles for a living, which $45 isn't gonna make or break us on those people either. You know, and it's going to solve the problem of those 12 steps for $10.
So was it 2,000 per address or per resident?
It was per
I think it was address before.
address, and it was for a month. But these loads that I'm talking about, you know, sometimes they come in and they've got 6 2x4s, and the person sitting there in the scale house, myself or the 2 that are trained to be in there, know if that's a new person. You know, you see those people all the time. You know that, okay, that guy is going to come in, he's going to bring in sheetrock 16 times this month. Those are the ones we go ahead and make the account for, or already have an account. But when somebody comes in, like say you were to tear out your bathroom at your house and you've got a load in your pickup of sheetrock or flooring or whatever you did, I know I've never seen you on my scale. I know you're a new person. And I always ask them, you know, how much are you going to have? Oh, this is the only load. Okay, that's the guy we need to just, there's your 2,000 pounds. He didn't even hit 2,000 pounds, you know.
right.
If they say, I'm tearing out a rental house, okay, that's an account.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's kind of a decision that's made right there, but we have done that all the way up till now with a lot of those, and
Are we able to amend a resolution, or you would just replace it? Like,
You replace it.
replace it, okay. I'm in agreement with your recommendation, because that administrative cost that we're absorbing is ridiculous, and also having people drive out there to utilize our facility and turn around and leave, we know it's in the ditch, and that's not helping us
So
either.
it's somewhere else, yeah.
It's somewhere else, like,
Somebody
or on
else's
the,
ditch.
yeah, exactly, and so,
Right,
I mean, I wanna help people, you know,
right.
and help our staff not have to go through these steps for $9 or $4 or whatever it is. Like, it's not efficient.
And looking at the 2015 resolution, it was 1,000 pounds.
it was, and then we changed it to
Changed.
2,000. I don't know if it ever made it in the resolution, but it was only 1,000 pounds for 1 year. And then we changed it to 2,000. And, like I said, I don't know if it ever made it in the resolution, but we did change it.
Was Was there a demand to change it back then for some reason? I mean, it seems like 1,000 pounds is still quite a bit of.
Well, the idea back then, that's when we were charging everybody for trash and everything. And a household, you know, maybe, so Eric, you know, Eric's household might only have 1,000, but K.S.A has 3 kids. You know, she might have 2,000. So we were trying to
Oh, I see.
encompass
Yeah.
the household
The
people.
high side.
Yeah, and, yeah, you know, if you're got several kids and diapers and, you know, all of those things that add up, we just wanted to make sure that we hit each household, no matter what their size, that they got. And after a year of the 1,000, I kind of knew, I mean, you know your customers, you know your flow coming in, you can see those people, you know that that's just household trash.
Yeah, but you do a major remodel of a house, you're gonna have 2,000 pounds of trash.
And those are the people we charged,
Yeah,
even back
yeah,
then.
right,
You know,
right.
you see that coming in, you recognize that truck, or even if you don't know that person's name, you recognize that person, that truck, that dog, you know, whatever's coming in, you know. So that was just the number that we hit.
I'd be okay putting that back in place. Yeah, we don't want trash in the ditch.
Definitely.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, we'll have, Pat, if you wouldn't mind amending that last resolution, we'll adopt it whenever, I mean, I don't know if,
Okay, so my question is, those bills that I have that haven't been billed yet, so are we making this effective today? Or are we,
I would just, I mean, we could have, 18
Retroactive.
days, yeah, because we
Yeah,
just
make it
changed it.
retroactive, yeah.
I would agree with that.
Okay, yeah.
One question on this, county general, should it say 897 or is
I put
that,
it under the account number, I just put 897.
oh, against, I'm sorry, I see
No,
it,
it's
thank
okay.
you.
I was like, I didn't know.
I just
how-
want to make sure I call for the right motion.
I'm not clear for sure how to fill them, so we just wing it.
Gotcha.
You got a resolution number?
Well, this is.
This is a, yeah, sorry, I got the purchase order.
Oh,
Yeah, so I would look for a motion, to approve purchase order presented by Solid Waste Director, in the amount of $17,396.08 to Clean Harbors Environmental Services Incorporated, to clean up the leak, at Advantage Metals.
I'll move. I have a question though.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Time out.
Wait.
Yep,
Will insurance cover this?
I don't know, that,
Yeah, I'll look.
We can go ahead and approve to pay it, but I mean, we should find out.
okay.
it didn't on the oil leak.
This is on somebody else's property though.
True.
Excluded.
True. I don't know, that's a,
It's worth looking into. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded to approve this purchase, and we will also look into our insurance to see if there's any coverage prior to paying. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
I just thought of that. I thought, wait a minute. It's worth asking.
I don't know.
Great question.
That is all I have.
Okay.
No, I ran copies, so I'm gonna leave it with you to give to Michelle.
Awesome. So we will get that resolution voted on to put the minimum wave of 1 ton, 2,000 pounds.
Dating back to April 1st.
Yes, so that you don't have to bill anybody $4 or $9 and set up accounts and all those things, so.
Okay.
Thank you for communicating that to us, because you've been proactive on it, and now we can address it before we get too
Well,
far down the.
And some of those things, you know, we really tried to think ahead of how this was gonna go. Jody and I put our heads together, and then when it started happening, it's like, oh, we didn't think about that. Or, you know, it just, So, all right.
Before you go,
Uh-huh.
you had asked me about our contract with Ham.
Right.
Quarry ends at the end of this year. And the contract was done in 2017, and it was a 5-year contract. And it provides that it will be automatically renewed for another 5-year term unless either side gives notice before 180 days, so July 1st probably July 2nd or 3rd or whatever, but July, that time frame. So, we need some direction, I guess, from the commission on whether it's worthwhile to go through a process. I don't think we have really competing companies in the business anymore in the area. Well, you're smiling.
Well, I'm sure there would be some bids. My opinion is Ham's, we got a good deal. And definitely if we want to recycle well, I think Ham's is definitely who we would want to go with. I'd be willing to take anybody that wanted to on a field trip down there to see it. It's awesome.
I still want to go down there.
Their recycling facility is awesome there. I feel like there are some companies that have reached out to me that want to just do the hauling part, but if you just do the hauling part, then you have created two bills, whereas with Ham's, we just have one, because you pay to haul and then you pay to dispose of the trash, whereas with Ham's, we just have the one bill. They haul it, they dispose of it, they take care of it, they provide the trailers, they provide the drivers. You know, really, we have a good deal with Ham's.
I know they're a good operation, but do you also get confirmation that all their certificates and their permits are up to date?
Oh, yeah.
So you have copies of all that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I think even their landfill is very environmentally, where they've covered the trash, they're growing trees up there. I mean, they've got a park up there with a picnic bench that they take school children up there and show them, you know, I mean, it's just, the whole thing is just pretty amazing. So that would definitely be my opinion, to ease into the next 5 years with them.
So
I would be
stay,
okay with not taking them to,
Taking it out to bid.
yeah, taking it out for bid. It's,
and the reasoning is because they're the only company in our.
Well, there's other companies, but, I mean, I hate to kind of say names out loud.
No, you're fine. I'm just saying for consistency purposes, like,
We're happy with what we have, very much, yes. They're providing a good service. We haven't had any complaints in 5 years. Recycling is important in our county, and people want to recycle it, and it far exceeds the competition in the recycling area, so.
Now, if you are gonna put it out for bid, you'd want to put it out early enough that you'd have the results back before you'd have to get the notice. So you'd want to have the results back beginning of the year, something like that. So,
I'm just trying to stay consistent because we've always said everything is going to be to bid, and not to say we can't take your recommendation. It doesn't always have to be the low bid, but we're doing the due diligence of. So, but I mean, that's just.
Yeah, there's always exceptions, so if you got
Yep.
your,
I guess you could also ask your solid waste committee for a recommendation on doing it, but
yeah.
it would need to be, now's the time to really be considering it, if you're, because you
Yeah, July is not that far away.
And in fairness to them, they need to probably be
Yep.
included in that
I agree.
conversation.
And probably, we don't have another meeting scheduled, so I'll probably just put it out in an email. They're pretty good about giving back opinions through email, if everybody's okay with that.
yes.
Yep, and we will just take you and their recommendation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who's the chair right now?
Derek.
Yeah, okay. I thought he was.
Jody went out and looked, and that's not ours.
Okay,
I'll ask
so
Michelle again, because she had it narrowed down too.
I can take it back with me.
Joe's here, so we're running a little ahead of schedule. Are we going to do that resolution today, or you want to?
on the tipping fees.
I didn't know how much work it takes to tweak it, so do you want to do it next week? We could put it on next
I
week.
put it on my to-do list. for
Okay, next week? Okay, perfect. Did you get that, Kaylee, for next week's agenda? Thank you. All right, Joe Snyder, Road and Bridge Superintendent Purchase Order Approval.
Okay, so I've got a few more.
Okay.
I think I sent them all to you, hopefully, and if I didn't, I have them now.
Yeah, if you have the hard
It's been kinda
copies.
crazy. So,
I have the Midwest Ready Mix.
Yep.
I have that one, but that's the only one I have.
all right, so I've got the other ones.
We don't change very
I had
often.
to get vendor numbers and stuff. So, the low water crossing south of Effingham, on 254th, the concrete for that was $9,246.
Speak up pretty good there.
What?
Speak a little louder if you can.
Oh.
That darn thing.
9,201.
$9,246 for the cement. And I've got a purchase order for that to Midwest Ready Mix for $9,246.
Okay. Look for a motion to approve a purchase order presented by the Road and Bridge Superintendent to come out of the Road and Bridge budget to Midwest Ready Mix for concrete for the low water crossing at 254th Road west of Edwards in the amount of $9,246. Have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0.
All right, the 2018 Kenworth truck that we are purchasing, we had another truck go down, the purple truck, so I think that it's time to get this truck here. And I have the money in our payments, our lease payments, and special machinery to cover the purchase of the truck until we get our financing done. And I was wondering if you guys were okay with doing that. Half of it comes out of the 121,000 comes out of special machinery, and 118 and some change comes out of the lease payment.
Okay.
And then when we go ahead.
No, I appreciate you asking on this. I think this is a good time, and I apologize this morning. I should have introduced you. Our county clerk has brought our finance director back on board, Mark Zeltner. So we are very appreciative to have him sitting at the table with us. And when we discuss with our department heads certain things as this and lease purchasing, and I just always want to defer for him to be able to weigh in on those decisions as well.
We discussed it yesterday.
Yep, and I know you had, you've done your due diligence, but I think it's important having the financial director, giving direction to the commission on certain things that are out of the norm. So, thank you and welcome back.
Welcome
Yes.
back.
Yep, welcome back.
So,
So I guess it comes down to how desperately do you need it, and you can't wait.
I need it. I mean, we're down to 3 trucks.
And you're starting your big season, basically.
Yes, and today we had to stop what we were doing because we don't have enough trucks.
Oh, man.
okay.
So, I mean, not completely stop, but we had to switch gears to do something different because we didn't have a truck to drive. And it's in the amount of $240,418.
How soon can you have it here?
I have to call him and find out if once we get the PO, I can get it, or we have to wait till the check is issued to pick it up. That would be the
Okay.
deciding
So
factor.
this is step one to getting you what you need to continue operations. I'd look for a motion to approve purchase order in the amount of $240,418 for a 2018 Kenworth to Master Tech Truck and Equipment. This will be a lease purchase. However, there's enough funds to go ahead and move this ahead until we do our bid for the lease purchase. So,
And Pat's in the process of getting that done.
okay, perfect. Do I have a
Also
motion?
moved.
Okay.
A second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Passes 3-0.
And then the other thing I didn't have a chance to talk to you about, but Friday, we've been looking for a scanner for the shop because we don't have one to hook up the equipment or to the trucks or to the vehicles that's suitable. So Jacob Lee is our new shop mechanic. He'll end up being the foreman. Him and Emily, who her husband has one of these scanners, they went to, we've checked 3 or 4 different kinds. They went to Baldwin City Friday into a shop with Baldwin City and got to actually run the scanner and see how it worked, and they were very happy with it. Franklin County also uses it, Osage County uses it, and it has an ag and off hot, you know, like for our New Holland tractor, we can plug it into it. The backhoe, some of the newer pieces of equipment, we'll be able to hook into it along with our dump trucks, and hopefully it works good on the vehicles too. So like if we have a problem with the truck, then we can come in and see how it works with that. And the total is $9,500. That does not include the laptop. When I've talked to Wes, and that'd be between $2,000 and $3,000 or $3,500. But I was just wanting to know if it was something, it's something I think will really help us. Our expense is in our maintenance. And if we can do some of this in-house, I would like to. A previous boss of mine bought one that does not work, and it will be put on Purple Wave to see if we can get rid of it.
Does this include any software maintenance updates?
The updates we have to pay for once a year,
How much is that?
about $2,000.
Okay.
But during the year, if there's any updates, that automatically happens for that price. And I know I hadn't got a chance to talk to you about it, but that's.
So Wes is aware of that?
Yep,
those
I
updates?
gave him all the information on it, and he looked everything up and told me what we could do to get the laptop we need.
Okay.
So there's a chance you might need another package depending on the other
I think we
vehicles.
should be
Right,
pretty
okay.
good. I think we should be pretty good.
Did you get a chance to look at it? It was in the email too. Oops, sorry. I'm no good at frisbee golf either.
But it's actually Mac Tools is where it comes from. The guy has his own business. It's a DC Tool Company, but it's actually Mac Tools. So it's the one we priced at a competitor was over $10,000 higher. So. And this would also come out of special machinery.
Do you have
I have a PO for $9,500 to DC Tool and Supply.
And you're gonna have to have the laptop to make this work,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And the laptop isn't,
No, but
do you
it's
want
under
me?
my spending allowance. I can.
I just didn't know if, oh, okay, so
You
you'll do
understand
that
what-
separate,
yeah,
yeah,
I'll
I
do
didn't
that
know if you
separately.
wanted that included
No,
in this.
no.
Is there any training that's gonna be needed by the mechanics to?
Well, they
to
seem
plug it in?
like he worked it pretty well himself down there Friday. And if there is, I mean, we'll address that, but he seemed like he really liked it. He's done this before. He worked for Lang Diesel out of Topeka, and he had, you know, he's been around some of it, so.
Okay, I'd look for a motion to approve a purchase order from Road and Bridge Superintendent to DC Tool and Supply in the amount of $9,500 for a kit for commercial vehicles.
So
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor say aye. Aye, passes 3-0.
Okay, now, Swab Eaton. So on bridge in .026.4, Independence Creek Bridge, where they ran into the bridge. Now, Pat, I didn't realize this. I just found this out this week. They did not have any engineering figured into that 50,000. So the engineering on that would be not to exceed $15,200 from Swab Eaton.
And then, as I recall, also part of the project that they would do is not related to the.
Yeah, I have
directly
that, that's
related.
separate. I've got
Oh, it is,
sep-
it's a
yes,
separate
it's
contract?
It's gonna be separate. So, this is something that I wanted to bring and let you guys look at, and if you agree to it, then it can be signed
So is the
also.
engineering agreement or contract as part of the accident?
This part is.
Okay.
See, so the deck has holes popping up. They're all over it on both ends. So I thought if we're gonna have a contractor there fixing the rail and the damage that they did, that would be a perfect time for us to hopefully take advantage of that and have them bid separately fixing the deck on the bridge. Because that's how I looked at it. Because hopefully it's one contractor and you have, pardon me, one mobilization, and I was hoping that that would help. What it's gonna cost, I have no idea. It's not gonna be cheap, but,
It's heavily used though, it needs to be.
oh,
That's
it needs to be fixed, and I just figured while they were there, let's fix where the holes are now. The whole deck would be $200,000 to fix, which we're just gonna fix the bad spots for right now and see, and go from there.
And was there any assistance due to that accident?
They're waiting on
Yeah,
us.
there should be liability insurance coverage for the driver, and we've talked with the insurance company, and they preferred actually that we go through the process of letting it for bid, and reimburse based upon that rather than reimburse based on an estimate,
Okay,
so,
that's probably
but
better for.
it's definitely more accurate. I don't know whether it would be cheaper or not, but for them.
Okay. So I look for a motion, to approve contract with Schwab Eaton for the proposal of bridge rail collision damage repair on bridge M.0-26.4 in the amount not to exceed $15,200.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
And then this one has the one to the deck, and it would be for not to exceed 13,500. And it tells on there the square footage and everything on the ends and
Is there a concrete deck or is there asphalt?
concrete.
It's all concrete, yeah.
But for some reason, it doesn't look like the concrete was thick enough over the rebar. And it's popping it.
I've got a thought. We recently discussed some of the damage that's been done to county bridges and tubes by township operators that aren't careful. Would that be better to go through like the insurance, turn that into insurance, and then it would be the insurance company collecting from the townships? And because I think there's gonna be a resistance from the county sending the township a bill directly.
Like
Because
Mike's got torn off the one.
Right, but I don't really know.
I just wondered if that process, because it's be more similar to this, that the insurance company, the people liable for
So
the
basically-
accident would be paying, going through the insurance company.
Through their insurance.
Yes.
I don't know.
I just wondered if that approach had been thought of, or maybe it's
No,
no good.
I
I'm
really-
just
I hadn't
thinking
thought of it.
Because I think it'll be, when we send a bill to townships, I think there's gonna be a
Big
pushback.
pushback.
And if, it's damage done to county property, and I just wondered if maybe that would be a different approach,
I don't know. Pat, do you?
just to consider.
Well, I think there's an exclusion in our K-Camp. I don't think they're covered under our policy, but they should be covered under their policies of insurance, but they would have to submit a claim, or at least give us the information for us to submit claims.
So we can bill them, but if they want to go to their insurance for it, that'd be up to them. Okay.
Pass these down.
Someone's like doing
I'm gonna do that.
something on my
There we go.
computer. It's weird.
There you go.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion to approve the contract with Schwab Eaton for deck repair proposal to complete the design for the bridge deck repair, not to exceed $13,500 for M.O-26.4.
Also move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I didn't get me one.
Passes 3-0. Bless you.
Bless you. Did I miss the page that had the price on it?
Oh, this one? That was the
This last one.
Did you send that on an email?
Yes.
Well, then,
Should have been 14,000.
It's online.
Where's it at?
in the very last
Yeah,
page.
this one here doesn't have that.
Oh,
page.
just that one did.
That's that one page. So what's the total, Casey?
14,800.
Okay. This is for E5143. It's a bridge project we have going on right now with Husker Steel. And MHS has done all of our engineering while they're doing it, checking everything, making sure it's right. In the past, I think the last one was 12,000 something, but that was almost a year and a half ago. And they sent the proposal at 14,800 to do the inspection while the bridge is being built.
Sorry, I'm just double checking. This says E5145.
It's supposed to be 3.
Okay.
Put the wrong one on there, evidently. E5143. Or is it
Okay.
314?
I just altered
Well,
that so that I
I
say.
get those two backwards.
And do you have
And it's just engineering, just like the last one.
okay. Do you have anything we need to sign or?
Just that.
Is this Kevin Schaefer who's from Atchison County?
There's one, last page is this one.
No, I don't have that page.
It's in the email.
Yeah, I must.
Signature page.
Can't sign the email.
Here you go. Have you got one? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm
When I was printing, it was messing up and I didn't.
okay. No, this is good because I want to know how to call for my motion because it's only my signature. So, I would look for a motion to allow the chair to sign a contract for resident construction inspection services for 242nd Road Structure E.5-14.3 Husker Bridge Improvements in Atchison County, Kansas with McAfee Henderson Solutions Incorporated, also known as MHS, in the amount of $14,800.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0.
Well, I'm glad to see these bridges getting done.
Yeah, I got one call Friday and one call Monday. So they're both under demolition right now, so.
I like to go under in summertime when they start putting it back together.
Yeah, I'm trying to let
Are
you know.
those all the signed ones? I was gonna put them back in
These are all
here
the
for
signed
her.
ones. I've just been piling things up
Did
in
you
here.
have that
I need
one
to
to
put them back in
sign?
here for them to scan. Yeah, we did that one. I'm pretty sure I need.
So
Yeah.
these should be all your signed purchase orders. Paper bag, paper bag.
Alright.
I got anything else, so I'm good.
So, let's see. So the two bridges are started. We're putting culverts in right now. Getting ready, we're still hauling a little bit of haydite, and we've started Durapatching, getting the roads prepared, means the weather is nice. I really would like to have another budget meeting as soon, whenever we can get that scheduled, Mark and I. And then there's, as you see all the engineering, there's a definite need for my leftover from the end of the year, if we could possibly get that back in the road and bridge.
Leftover from
Last year, the end of the year.
Isn't that too late to? No?
No, nothing's been done yet.
Okay. I was thinking it had to be done
No,
by
it's-
in February.
No, you can still look at
Okay, so I have written down, we'll get our calendars together and try to figure out another budget meeting for you.
Okay.
Couple things I wanted to bring up after our, Michelle and I attended the Walnut Township meeting last night. Was the grader training that you're trying to set up for your,
I'm trying to, yes.
Okay.
But this is, okay, so LTAP won't have another one until they have enough funds to get it done. So
Right.
I am talking directly with the guy who does that, and he's checking to see if it's okay if I can have him just come down and work with our guys individually. Is
Okay.
what I'm trying to do.
okay. Because if there's any way to collaborate with the townships, they're facing the same challenges of not having an operator trained for it. So everything they hear is what we hear at the county. And same with their trucks. you know, they have one 9-ton truck that's not getting all 65 miles in an efficient manner, so they were looking at asking if the county had trucks, which that's apparent, we don't, we're struggling with our own needs, and I explained that, but they were talking about, well, they were asking for solutions, so there's a lot of people in Atchison County that have a dump truck that are hauling private for hire. So my thought was we could put together like a list of them and have it available for everybody to be able to have contact information. I didn't know, is that something, like I want to do that. So do you want me to funnel that through Michelle at the clerk and putting it out to where the haulers send their information to her, or do you want it funneled through you?
Just send and go through her.
Okay, I wanted
No,
to ask
that's
you
fine.
before I talked to her about
Yeah.
it, but I think it's important, and even last night, there was another gentleman that posted on social media that he has a truck and is hauling rock, and I didn't even know he was in that business. So if we have some of these to where if you get in a pinch, you could
Get a hold of
sub it
somebody.
out, you know, to help everybody. So I think having that list put together, you know, will be beneficial for everyone in the county if their trucks go down and you
Right.
still gotta operate. So I just wanted to ask you that.
So what did you guys, about the 170? Can we go ahead and move that, or?
I'd like to visit more, I mean, with the financial director and see what are you talking about on the 154 or
Yeah,
just-
he's talking about all the money left over from unused budget,
Okay.
rolling it over to a 154 or a separate fund.
Was any of that dedicated towards a project that just didn't get done yet?
Yes.
Okay.
And some of it was engineering that we still haven't got billed for.
Okay.
And I was gonna roll that money right back into these projects that we're doing because the engineering isn't gonna get any.
I'd just like, maybe we can talk about that in the next budget meeting. I'd like to have some info in front of me before just making.
So what kind of info are you wanting? Just you want me to show you where it's gonna go?
Well, just, I mean, I could pull up a CIC report and understand what, I mean, can we make that decision next week? Gives us time to,
Will we still have time? Okay. All right.
When is Joe scheduled for,
well, we don't have another one yet, so we need to get our heads together, because May 2nd, we have kind of wrapping everybody up, and then after tomorrow, but we need to pencil something in with everybody's schedule.
Because we didn't even get through all of mine,
right?
Yeah,
so.
Tomorrow we get done at 1, right?
yeah, 12 is, yeah,
9 to 1 is
Yeah.
what bad.
Yeah.
Can we go longer?
I'm okay going longer.
I'm gonna be leaving,
Oh, yeah, you get the conference.
I got a conference,
Oh,
I'll be leaving tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
2:30, so.
You said May 1st is what?
May 2nd.
May 2nd is,
Was our Tuesday meeting where we're doing the courts from 9 till 10. We have two, the court appointed attorneys and then the courts. And then at 10, we're doing regular business for like an hour, and then at 11, starting our workshops again with
Yeah.
budgets.
I have that one until 2, is that right?
Yeah, whatever you have is probably
I
right.
have 9 to 3 budget workshop.
So maybe the last person scheduled
That's
it
what I'm
too.
wondering, I think it may be 3.
Okay.
It's 3.
That's what I was asking, so I may put that in wrong.
Okay. So you're gonna be at conference? You can't do tomorrow then?
Not at 2.
Okay. Did you do 8, do you want to? So we were starting at 9 tomorrow, do we want to start at 8?
I get it.
Okay, so we'll have to get our calendars together.
So about next Tuesday, if we had him from 9 to 10 as budget.
Next
We don't leave town
week,
until
we're
2:30.
meeting on Monday.
Oops, wait a minute.
We leave town at 2:30, so if we could get it done
I said jump the week.
by then.
It's Monday.
So we have 12 to 1 tomorrow, so we could do 1 to 2:30. So tomorrow we'll just extend.
That does work pretty well.
Sorry, I have it in here.
When are you talking?
So tomorrow we had, joint communications from noon to 1, which there's probably won't, I mean, so, yeah, but even if we did road and bridge tomorrow from 1 to 2, that would give you plenty of, he said he doesn't leave till 2:30.
Oh, okay.
So
We'll probably
let's
start it
just,
sooner early.
yeah, and let's do that.
Okay.
So we're gonna, is that fine, since we already have a special meeting, Kaylee, just to add another hour to the schedule?
Hold please. Patrick, I'm deferring to you.
Yeah, as long as you give notice.
Okay, because we gave notice about our,
I've already got it posted for tomorrow's meeting. I just didn't have.
And we don't have an
bridge
ad-
listed on it.
we don't have an
Because
adjournment time, so we should be fine. Probably.
I agree.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I was.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay, so we'll just do that.
There you go.
And then I didn't, rural water is starting today, moving their line for the 310 project. And McAfee and Henderson are in the process of putting the bid specs and everything together on that. So, thank you.
They're starting the project already without bid specs?
No, they're getting ready. They're getting everything together to put out the bid. They're gonna do all that for us. No,
I misunderstood.
no. So did you bring this up or you want me to, or?
Well, I haven't mentioned it to him. That's right-of-way acquisition related to this project. There's over 0.6 acres, more or less, of permanent right-of-way that was needed for the drainage. And these are calculated based on $7,000 per acre for permanent right-of-way and $1,600 per acre for temporary construction. The temporary construction is quite a bit smaller. So the total was $4,574.82. And I wasn't sure what department that came out of, so I left the against
Okay.
blank. And we've been in contact with the owner. The owner actually has already signed the documents that we need.
Without that much in front of me, I can't tell you. I have it right away. Guess we talked about that yesterday.
You wanna use that one?
Mhm.
So it's 00135,
What was that again?
00135. 77411.
So this would be the purchase order to purchase a permanent public right-of-way and then a temporary easement to Norma J. Rodfeld, trustee, and a total of $4,574.82. Project on 310.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
When should that be done out there?
What's that?
What's the completion on that?
When?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Okay.
honestly, until they're getting ready. I talked to them today on the way over here, and they're trying to get everything drawn up. As soon as the water line gets moved, I mean, they're gonna go ahead and bid it, but if it starts raining, that could prolong some of it.
Okay.
And then I also talked to them about the Ottawa Road project, and as soon as they get this one going, then they'll start getting the rest of it done, so we can hopefully get that done this year also. It's in the plans for it to be done.
I think I fat fingered this cross section of road, but I think it's 254th and Sherman. There was a report, stop signs down, several signs had been down. And I think you guys replaced one, but it was like leaning, so you might just have your guys check on that. That was feedback from the meeting last night. And then, just get with you, I'll get with you sometime on some of these other roads that they had questions on, just to get an update and make sure we can communicate that back to them.
Okay.
And then there was a gentleman that came this morning questioning Morton Road. We answered his questions, but one of the things I just wanted to refresh my memory is Pfefferkorn's watching this project from beginning to end. We talked through that. Performance bonds, I mean, we don't anticipate Harbor to have any failure in the job that they do, but was it 2 to 3 inches top?
3.
Okay, 3. Okay, so perfect, because I
thought
knew it was
3,
somewhere in
but it's
between 2 to 3, but we
I
both
mean,
hesitated.
I'd
We all
go back
hesitated.
and look, but I'm pretty sure it's 3.
Okay, I just wanted a refresher on that, and then
They're supposed to be going out and talking to some of the local farmers and stuff
Okay.
here in the next week or so.
perfect.
Wouldn't hurt to put the sign up coming soon or like
Well,
a
we
start
did, and
date.
it blew completely, ripped it up, and I ordered some new ones that are made out of better stuff, and they're not here yet.
Okay.
And I ordered them like 3 weeks ago. So,
But you know, having that up so people.
yeah,
it's like-
it was put up last week,
Okay.
and over the
Great.
weekend, they were destroyed.
I know all about the winds.
Yeah.
Bad, so. Horrible.
Yeah, so as soon as the other ones get here, we'll get them put up.
Awesome.
And I don't have anything else, I don't think.
I just want to clarify, like, in the future on talking through these discussions, like, it would be, as far as like rolling money over and things, I would love for us to just kind of defer to the financial director for decisions like that. I think my hesitation on this particular one is staying consistent and not having a chance to get with you yet as a commission, to make sure our heads are together. So just wanting to explain that, because I want to make sure we all start out on the same page and successful.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. All right, I'm going to add in the Senior Village Memorandum of Understanding with Mr. Mercier. Did you guys have a chance to review that?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay,
He
looking,
sent me an email. He asked for 2 changes. One was that the prior agreement ended April 16th, and so he wanted this one to be April 17th, which was yesterday, which I think would also change the ending date. And then he also wanted, in paragraph 2A, that would now say that he would continue to serve as administrator of record for ASV until such person obtains a temporary license under K.A.R. or until May 31st, 2003, because he cannot do it after May 31st. He's committed in June to be an administrator somewhere else. So,
okay,
with those 2 changes, those are the 2 changes he suggested.
okay. Are we good with those changes?
I think we have to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you'll just print an updated one for us to sign?
Just
Perfect.
printing 2 right now.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna use the restroom, then we'll look at moving on that. And I can, you want me to run for you?
Are you Kevin now?
Yeah, should have been a lot further along. They're slow this year. It's not going well. Had more open cows and just things happen. So it's not gonna be a good calving year. Which, if it stays dry, it might be a good thing, because my herd's thinned down, so if we don't have the grass, it might be a good year to have fewer.
Forecast looks pretty good right now. We might be getting there.
Yeah, I didn't get anything planted yet, so, or sprayed. again, the wind, I was hoping maybe.
You can't spray anywhere. Well, you can, you're gonna spray Donovan County if you spray it here.
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe I could spray some today.
I sprayed that yard last night.
Oh, it was beautiful yesterday, but the ground was too wet, and my sprayer just broke, so. It's not one thing, it's another.
Quit your day job, get back out there.
Believe me, there are times.
Okay. I would look for a motion to approve memorandum of understanding for the nursing home administrative consultant, and allow the chair to sign with David Mercier to begin Monday, April 17th, continue for 13 weeks through Sunday, July 16th.
Wait a minute,
Date change.
It was
I
Monday.
thought you said it was the last
'Cause-
date was in May,
What you mean?
May 31st.
No, that was the last date that he could be the administrator, but.
A consultant.
He would still
Consultant.
continue to
Okay,
be the
I'm sorry.
consultant
Yeah.
and the preceptor.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
He
right.
would serve as the administrator of record, until May 31st, or until the temporary license.
Okay, that's what I thought I was gonna keep going,
It's
so
obtained.
moved, yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. I'll sign 2 copies. Okay, so with that being said, I also am looking for a motion to approve Lindsay Wood as the Atchison Senior Village Administrator, starting April 24th at a salary of $85,000.
So move.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 What was that starting date?
3-0. April 24th.
24th.
And one thing I just wanted to, probably sorry to defer to you, but on the contract or any obligations of hiring Lindsay, do we have a minimum requirement of how long she'll stay on with us?
Yes.
Okay.
We did a sponsorship agreement with her for 2 years.
2 years, okay, perfect, because I know we're paying for the preceptor and to get her up to par, so I wanted to make sure we
Yeah,
don't
the
just.
agreement, we had advertised for the position to start at 95, however, we came to an agreement of starting her at 85, and then once she obtains her permit license, that's when we would then make the step up to 95 as the county administrator for the nursing home.
Okay, and will HR be responsible or will the commissioners be responsible for following up to make sure she's hitting these? Because when we get May 31st, it's a make or break, and that's gonna be here before we know it. So how do you foresee?
I'll do the bookkeeping for you guys and let you know when
Thank
it's
you.
time to do so.
Okay, I just wanna make sure someone's riding her to make sure we're hitting the checks as we go, because sometimes we'll forget and we'll be, oh, it's May 31st.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
And David did indicate as they go through the program, he will keep me updated with her progress too, and then I will bring that to you guys. For
Great.
you guys to know.
Great, I appreciate
Yeah, I would
that.
think a lot of that will lie on David. That's the reason that we have him there is to, but he still needs to have a contact here.
Right.
So,
Yep.
but
Well, it just concerned me when he won't be on site and he's got a lot of vacations or time off coming up. So I just wanna make sure we had that conversation, so, sounds like we're covered. All right, so old or unfinished business before the board. You guys have anything? Sorry, you wanna talk about a meeting date?
Yes, August 1st, I will be unable to be here. I've gotten my dates now with my Mercantile Association trustee. I won that election, so I'll be a trustee up there.
Okay.
But I will be unable to be here August 1. So I didn't know if we wanted
Just
to,
move it to Monday?
well, on
You'll be gone that Monday.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday for this
Okay.
week. So, yeah, but if you want to have the meeting without me, that's fine.
I mean, with that kind of notice, I would,
It's also the fair week, so I didn't know that's another thing. Does that make it easier to not have a meeting that week is what I wondered.
Okay. I mean,
Are you back Wednesday?
I'm back on Monday night. Well, no, I mean on Tuesday night.
So we
So-
can either go to the Wednesday or skip.
I would prefer Thursday if possible, because Senior Village Board meeting is on Wednesday and that's at noon, so we couldn't do like a normal meeting schedule.
Yeah, I'm booked to see patients, but I can do Friday.
I could do Friday,
If you want to do a Friday.
which would be the 4th.
It's Fair Week too, so.
That'll be parade night. If there's anything there or to do the parade.
I hate to cancel it just for the fact there's always something
But
needed.
I could do
But-
Wednesday or Thursday and just plan. I mean,
Okay,
You tell me.
Or if there's not another date, we could go ahead and have a meeting without. I
Yeah,
mean,
you can
sometimes
do
that
that,
happens
yeah.
too. I mean, I'm not trying to cut you out, but
so does Thursday the 3rd work?
I can make it work.
I can make it work.
All right, let's do Thursday the 3rd. So Kaylee, we're gonna switch August 1st meeting to the 3rd, Thursday.
Regular hours?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do the same meeting format, but just Thursday instead of Tuesday that week. Okay. All right, is that the only one?
Can I steal a
Yep.
few minutes of your time?
Oh.
I know I'm not on the agenda, but I didn't get time because I just got this last night at 5 o'clock. But I looked into the street on Parallel Street, from 5th Street to 6th Street on repaving, and I talked to Seth Howard on that. And he said that he could do that in about 2 to 3 years for us, or he could do it for this amount if we would split that with him. And we'd do it.
Why are we doing, I mean, I don't understand.
Why are we doing it?
Yes.
Well, the only reason that I even consider doing half cost share is that 80% of that is our parking lot between 5th and 6th Street. So we using 80% of that street for parking.
So on the city street plan, it doesn't roll around to that street until
For
2 to 3
2
years.
to 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, in the meantime, it'd just be patched or whatever.
Okay.
And so we've got a lot from the last snows that we've had in the last 2 years that are a lot of potholes out there and bad spots. It's something that we almost need to resurface, but for that cost, our cost would be half of that. And then they would put down 20 years striping on that too. So that we wouldn't
it's
have to
milling
go out
overlays,
every year and
looking
stripe it.
nice.
So,
I'm a no.
okay.
I don't think we should get in the business of city street paving or,
That's fine with me. I'm just trying to get our
I mean,
area out there where our parking lots are coming, or the street, not parking lot, but the street is coming apart out there.
Maybe,
So we just get on the list for, and then take care of
yeah,
it.
maybe we go to the city commission and actually ask, please push this forward.
I would be,
I'd be happy with that meeting and talk to them.
absolutely, and I'd be on to work together, but as far as cost sharing city street projects, I'm not in favor.
I agree.
That is fine with me. I just bringing up mine so
me hang
that
on
we
to that.
know where we were at.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, county councilor updates.
I don't have anything.
Okay. So executive session, I have non-elected personnel for, let's do 30 minutes. HR commission and road and bridge superintendent. And you have one with commission yourself and how long?
15 minutes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Eric, how about a 2-minute delay on the start, Governor's restroom?
Okay. Yeah. Why don't we do that and I'll call for it when we get back.
Perfect.
All right, that's fine.
That
Thank
way we'll go. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
And that
I'm
is-
just trying to check my list off. Sorry,
HR,
Road and Bridge,
Commission.
HR and Commission.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh,
Do I need
okay, yes, and, yes, please. And, county counselor on that one too, please.
That's what I was.
Thank you. Sorry. It's,
I mean,
I know.
I don't wanna put people on the spot,
Yes, and I'm trying to,
because I have no idea what's coming, so it's like I'm totally.
I should probably. Pat, I'm sending you an email real quick.
Is your mouse plugged in and in there? That's probably why. Is unless your mouse is off. Mine did that one time when I had it in my bag, but it's plugged in.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, so it's probably in your bag.
How do you turn it off?
I don't think you can. No, I'm not. That's a
I don't
hunch.
know. That was weird.
It's just a thought.
There's a lot of difference in here temperature wise. You walk out there, it's warm. It's actually nice. It's kind of cold in here.
Before we go into executive session when Eric gets back, I was just gonna follow up to see, Joe, did you have anyone that could attend that conference? The only reason I say, because they keep sending it to us that it's urgent, that that we should be present. And it doesn't work for my schedule or I could go.
I'm going
Is that the one in April 20-something?
Yeah, is
I'm
there,
in Chicago.
Friday in April.
it would be,
Yeah, I'm in Chicago. I mean,
Yeah, see,
I
that's,
just didn't know if you
I've
have
already-
anyone on your crew that could represent the county, or if we should ask, maybe if Mark would have any. I just, when they send it highlighted like this, it's pretty much you better be represented.
Right.
And I'm
I
just.
don't know, I could ask Emily, but I really don't have anybody else that would be, I can ask her, see if she wants to go.
it was
And even if she just went on behalf of us to gather the information and come back with a report,
what was the location on that?
Topeka, District 1.
That's the peak. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Kansas and, yes, Kansas and 21st Street, easy to get to.
Yeah.
I just know how hard we're all trying, and
Yeah.
if we could have representation there, I think it would be good. It's the vulnerable road user safety assessment. And so they highlighted all the counties going, and
Oh, so they talk about
Yeah.
road safety.
yeah.
Maybe your foreman, one of your foremen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you need me to forward that to you
I
again?
have it.
Okay,
I have it.
I just
I'll look
want-
at it when I go back over there.
okay. That was one thing I kind of read between the lines, that Atchison County needs to be represented.
That might be really empowering too for something like that to go.
Yeah. It's good encouragement.
Okay. All right.
Ready?
Yep.
I'll move that the Board of County Commissioners recess into executive session at 11:54 p.m. to discuss personal matters of non-elected personnel as allowed by K.S.A. 75-4319B1, and that the purpose of the closed session is to protect the privacy rights of the employee, and that the board come out of executive session at 12:25 p.m. in the commission room at the EOC at 10443 US Highway 59. And this present will be the commissioners, Road and Bridge Director Joe Snyder, HR Jody Moore, and County Councilor Pat Anderson.
Okay, I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. We're heading into executive session. Okay, one more on non-elected, please, with HR, County Commission, and
Thanks,
County
Joe.
Councilor.
Yep, thank you, guys.
15 minutes, sorry.
15 minutes. And who?
HR, County Councilor, and Commissioners.
I'll move that the Board of County Commissioners recess into executive session at
Sorry.
12:25
Oh, I
p.m.
told you 12:15.
to discuss personal matters of non-elected personnel as allowed by KSA 75-4319B1, and that the purpose of the closed session is to protect the privacy rights of the employee, and that the board come out of executive session at
Commissioner Knoll.
Change
Commissioner
it.
Knoll.
Just change the
Could,
time.
could we just hold that for, we were in executive session and we asked EMS to come back at 12:15. Can we just do him really quick and then we'll do?
Oh, okay.
Is that okay? Sorry.
I'll rescind it. No.
I have you on here, but then following in line with.
Okay, I spoke to the bidding party, Master Medical Equipment, and reviewed our equipment. We do not need the charger. They are fine with removing that, so the bid would be $20,188. Other than that, it meets our bid exactly, and I would recommend that we go forward with that.
Okay. Look for a motion to approve a purchase order from our EMS director to Master Medical Equipment in the amount of $20,188.
Just a second. How much did you say that charger took off?
$23.95.
Yeah.
I thought the original bid was $20,583.
$22,583. Yep,
All right.
you're fine. And it's for a cardiac monitor and defibrillator.
Refurbished.
Refurbished.
Significant savings. So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Then moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
I will bring back a PO before the end of your meeting.
What
Thank
did you
you.
say the cost was new usually?
The last quote I got was over 42,000.
Yeah.
About half.
Sorry, Eric.
Okay, we ready?
Yep.
I didn't see, no, he was here, so. Okay, I'll move that the Board of County Commissioners recess into executive session at 12:27 p.m. to discuss personal matters of non-elected personnel as allowed by KSA 75-4319B1, and that the purpose of the closed session is to protect the privacy rights of the employee, and that the board come out of the executive session at 12:45 p.m. in the EOC 10443 US Highway 59, and those present will be HR Director, County Councilor, and 3 Commissioners.
So moved. For second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0, heading into executive session.
I'll make a motion that we extend the previous executive session for 10 minutes, and then we'll come out at 12:55 p.m.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Thank you.
Me posted.
Okay.
Okay, I have a couple more things that my mind triggered that we should talk about is One, did you guys see the emails about the JCAB meeting with Leavenworth County Commissioners?
Yeah.
They're requesting us to come to their commission meeting, which are on Wednesdays. And I was looking forward on calendars, and I couldn't be available.
I was the same way, that's why I
And
sent back.
so, you sent that
I
back?
said something about I could go tomorrow, and otherwise the dates they were throwing out, I just,
Oh, wait a minute, was that your, okay,
is that a different thing?
I've got opinions on that. I probably would not just want to show up with just us three commissioners, because that's eerily similar to what happened when they took funding away from us and they said we were gonna have commission to commission only years ago. And we got down there, they had all of their staff, their county attorney, they had all of their people. So I would want
so that.
supporting staff to go with us if they're gonna have it.
So there were two different things. One was initiated by Jody, trying to get you guys to do an interview. But mine was initiated by Michelle, that they reached out to the chair of our commission to see if we can come on Wednesdays, is their meetings at 9 a.m., to meet with them. And so I just looked at my calendar and was like, I can't, I mean, I'm like 3 weeks out if we're trying to do a Wednesday. And then Kathy had reached out to us to recap that needed to be done.
Right.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find the email.
Our deadline's May the 8th for grants.
You're right. And so, yeah, the Leavenworth County Commission would like to schedule a joint work session with Atchison County Commission to discuss juvenile community corrections. They would like to meet in Leavenworth during one of their regular meetings, which are Wednesdays at 9 a.m. So if you guys want to go without me, you can do that, but I'm not
I am
available.
booked every Wednesday with patients.
So,
Until way down the road, I can grab one.
so do you want me to respond, just Wednesdays don't work for us?
Yeah. Do they meet more than one day a week? I'm thinking they meet.
I thought they did too, I thought they did twice.
This just from their Board of County Commission Executive Secretary is saying they want us to come during their regular meeting, which is Wednesday at 9 a.m.
And how do we arrive at a decision with 5 commissioners on there and 3 with us? I'd want some ground rules, because it was left a sour taste in my mouth after the last time we worked with them. The offer that they made was completely different than what we got.
This is headed for an interlocal agreement, and they have to make their vote, we make our vote as far as whether we accept it or reject it. So I mean, it's the 5 and 3 won't matter on that. If we reject the interlocal agreement, it didn't happen.
No.
So that's the one issue. Beyond that, I don't know if there's other things they want us to, that's what I took out of that meeting, is that was the goal, was to get an interlocal agreement set.
So if we arrive at a interlocal agreement, is that going to reverse the budget decision that they made, considering, I mean, if they're not gonna change that, why do we need an interlocal agreement?
Well, statute requires we have one, and and it's required since 1992, I think, and
And
we've
we-
never had one.
Yeah.
Or we had a joint resolution, 1 page long.
Executive committee thing, yeah.
Executive committee, yeah. And there are there are 2 programs that are district-wide programs. Juvenile intake, which is of course the one that's blown up here recently, but then there's also the prevention programs that are district-wide. So it probably would be good to have something that would spell out what our ground rules are, working for the frontline workers, not necessarily for the commission to commission. And so we really feedback.
I'm sorry, even with the meeting, I would want not just to be commission to commission, because I think they'll have a full court press, they'll have everybody, they'll have Jamie, they'll have their county counselor, they'll have everybody there. So it won't be 5 to 3, it'll be 8 or 9 to 3 if we only go down as a commission. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, that's what's happened before.
Well, she's asking about Kathy Crockett. The other thing is this juvenile intake, they've already decided they're not, what they wanna do. I think we're stuck with the directions going, so we really need to meet with Kathy, I think, to talk about the juvenile intake and the budget on that, and applying for grants on that. I think that's one issue. I don't know if that affects the Leavenworth County Commission, because it sounds like this board's already stacked and making that policy change. What do you think, Pat? I mean,
Up until that meeting, I had never thought that the boards were split along the county lines, but,
yeah.
but certainly that was the impression after that meeting.
So I think we're stuck figuring out a way to fund it on our end. The other issue is this interlocal agreement we should have. And to me, one county or the other should draw up an initial draft, and we start just going back and forth about what it looks like.
Okay, so with that being said, then Michelle responded last Wednesday to this Becky saying that she would get the information to me last Thursday, and one of us would get back to her soon. So are we good to respond just to say Wednesdays don't work for our schedules? However, we would love to see a draft of an interlocal agreement of what they're thinking. Is that what we want to do?
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's the way to start.
Okay. You good?
Yeah.
Good? Okay.
Honestly, I'm not even sure everything needs to be in that. I mean, that would have much better idea than I would. I mean,
Yeah, I would plan to go unless I can't.
so maybe each county's attorneys can talk about what that interlocal agreement should contain and give us a draft. I mean, it should be pretty simple, I would think. Don't you think so, Pat? I mean, a lot of things are just driven by what the statutes say.
Well, to some degree, yeah. And there are definitely other counties that have agreements, and we should look for those. Other judicial districts, I guess, that have.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm gonna respond to Michelle's email then with direction for her to get with this lady to just let her know we can't do Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I mean, you might also put in there that that you all meet on Tuesdays, and we could do it by Zoom, even if that would be easier for them.
On our day or their?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can't. But they only meet once?
They do, it looks like, yeah.
So do
But
we,
it could be on a Tuesday, and it could be by Zoom. It'd be just an idea.
Wednesdays are tough for me.
okay. I'm just gonna tell her, would you respond to Mrs. Madseter
Next year, Wednesdays will be easier.
that we would be able to
Next year, I can do Wednesdays easier, but this year's tough.
accommodate their request on a Tuesday during our meeting time, either in person or via Zoom. Or if that doesn't work for them, would love to see a draft of an interlocal agreement by them. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
By the Leavenworth Board of County Commission. Wednesdays, unfortunately, do not work for our scheduling. Okay, and I put Kathy and Pat on there so they see that.
So do we need to address something to Kathy too, to discuss whether she needs to come in and talk about these grants with us maybe next week?
So I sent that email to Kathy, and she responded, "Thanks, Casey." So she's following along with what we're doing. I've been communicating
Okay.
with her,
Okay.
and she's on.
And she'll need to get it approved, so.
Yeah.
Is she?
Sure, you're scheduled.
Is she May 2nd? Let me look.
She's scheduled for budget approval on the 24th.
That's even better, because her deadline's the 8th on that.
Okay, so she was a Tuesday. Sorry,
So
I couldn't
maybe-
remember.
Maybe we'll cover all that
She's
then.
next Monday
Okay.
for approval, if I'm correct. I'm double checking the agenda.
Okay. And then one more thing is David Mercier had sent an email about obtaining further training for their business office manager. And he has someone willing to come up and consult for her. I was able to share it with HR and with the finance director to make sure they were on board. And basically just keeping that position as a consultant only. It says she would take $60 and would like to have mileage or driving time. Since she's coming from Ottawa, Kansas, she can start anytime once this is approved. So,
Sounds fine.
okay, so I would look for a motion to approve a consultant for Senior Village for our business office manager to at a $60 an hour rate with our mileage reimbursement from Ottawa, Kansas, up to 6 visits, and then we'll revisit if we need to extend.
Okay.
Because he put in there, he thinks it should take a half dozen visits, so.
Okay. So moved.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so I'm gonna respond back that with Jody and Mark on it. We approved up to 6 visits at the rate you suggested. Okay, anything else you guys have right now? Bless you.
It wasn't a motion.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, I look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes 3-0. Can I